Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Mp40 mod, which is being made by users Trophy Hunter and Chad509, and what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is that oh so iconic of submachine guns from World War II, the Mp40. And oh man, I cannot tell you guys how happy I am to have a quality Mp40 mod in this game now. I've been looking for one for quite some time because I have a lot of fun with this gun. I've even fired one in real life and they are impressive to use. And even though there have been a multitude of different versions I've seen on the Nexus, I've been waiting for a quality version, and this mod right here is it. It has custom animations, beautiful modeling, and amazing texture work. Just to give you guys an idea of what you could potentially see with this mod, if you have a much better computer than mine, I am using the standard version of the Mp40 mod with the same sort of texture quality as any other gun in the game. Now, there are alternative downloads on the mod page for this that will give you 1K, 2K, 4K, even up to freaking 8K versions of this gun, and that is freaking impressive. So if you have a good computer that can really push the edges of graphics, you can have a simply beautiful and stunning looking weapon to use in the Commonwealth, and that is a wonderful thing. Now, as for how you get your hands on one of these glorious submachine guns, you got a couple of options. First and foremost is to do what I did and cheat them in with console commands. Quite easy enough, but if you want to do it a bit friendlier and non-cheaty, if you have a WKCR installed, you can use a weaponsmith workbench to actually build one of these. Or if you would actually like to find one in the world, sadly it's not on the leveled loot list or anything like that. You're simply just going to have to go to Diamond City, and in the marketplace there is just a regular weapon workbench over by the gun shop where you will find 3 different Mp40s. And yes folks, that is right, we actually do get 3 different kinds of Mp40s in this mod. If we do go over to my weapon tab, we have the standard Mp40, which is a simply beautiful weapon, which will have a default of 20 damage, use 10mm rounds, have a firing rate of 81. The range of 0 is a glitch at the moment. If you change the barrel, it will fix itself, but yeah, for some reason, the standard version comes at 0, which is just a weird little glitch. Accuracy of 68, and finally weight of 15.5, and as you can see up here, we have a vast array of different modifications we can add to this gun to make it even better, and even some different paint schemes, which is hilariously good fun with that. Now, besides the standard automatic Mp40, we also have an Mp40 Tactical, which has some rail systems attached to it and a few other things that don't come quite standard on normal Mp40, and has the ability to add a multitude of even more mods if you add on additional accessory rails. Now this will have pretty much similar stats: damage of 20, 10mm rounds, 81 firing rate, range of 107, accuracy of 80, and weight of 17.8, and it's a very good overall submachine gun that you can make pretty darn amazing. And finally, we have the Mp40 Experimental, which is 2 Mp40s glued together with the magazines at the top. Oh my god, I love this thing. It is a huge load of fun to shoot people down with one of these, especially in close quarters, though, oh man, the reload animation takes a while, but this experimental Mp40, oh man, is really fun to play with, and has a damage of 32, range, or firing rate rather, of 181, range of 107, accuracy of 64, and weight of 15.3. Now let's go and take a look at some of the modifications for these things, as there are a whole lot, and then we'll get to the shooting. Now let's go to the weapon workbench, and I am actually going to switch over, well, no, we'll just go for this one for now, and just take a look at the automatic Mp40, and we have a pretty good different selection of mods here. So in receivers, it's the pretty standard fare, a short list, but still your pretty typical hardened, lightened, upgraded, etc. So if you want good damage, you're going to want to go hardened. If you want a faster firing rate, upgraded, etc. Just whatever you desire for your receiver. Always good. We then have a variety of barrels to choose from, either compensated light, standard MP40, or even a standard MP41, which there you go, you can see the range kind of fixing itself there. I still don't know why it shows a 0, but it does still shoot people at a range farther than 0, which is always handy. Now, after the barrels, we have the grip, which is quite interesting because we either have the standard MP40 grip or an MP41 stock, which is really cool looking. I do like the wooden stock on there, but if we keep the MP40 grip for now, we actually get additional options down below, which we'll get to momentarily. Now, after the grip, we have the magazine, where we either have a standard or a drum magazine. Then in sights, we do only have just the standard sight for the regular base MP40, but when you get to the tactical version, oh boy, you get a lot more options there. And then in the muzzle, we have either a flash hider or a suppressor for you to go with. And then we also have the ability to change this from full auto to semi-automatic, which of course will lower the firing rate but improve the accuracy. Then after that, we have skins, where we can select either a beautiful chrome paint job, a standard MP40 skin, or a war-torn. So just whichever one you'd like to go with. Personally, I like the chrome. I think it's magnificent. And then after the skins, we have a very interesting feature here of single magwell or dual magwell, so you can actually have 2 clips attached to the MP40 at once, and that includes the drum magazine. So you could either have 2 regular magazines or 2 drum magazines, so you got a lot of ammo at your disposal, which is pretty hilarious. And then we get to stocks. Now this is important because remember up at the top where we had the grips, this stock would not show if we chose the MP41 stock, but since we went with the MP40 grip, we have the option of either no stock, which is standard, a folded stock, which as you can see is folded in towards the gun, or just the standard extended, which will increase your accuracy there. Always good, so you do have those different options, and I do enjoy that. And then our final option is sight zoom, which is interesting. If you have the gunslinger perk, you can actually choose to zoom in a bit more when you do go into iron sights, all the way up to a 2x zoom, if that is what you like. So a very interesting option there. Now, if let's actually just go over to the experimental real quick, and this, oh boy, this is a fun one. Now, not a whole lot of modifications for the experimental, but it's still pretty cool. Now in receivers, we have again just the standard 4 that we had with the regular MP40, so you can get this thing up to about 38 damage from the receiver, which is quite nice. And the barrels, we have either a standard or a hardened, which will improve the damage a little bit as well. And the grips, we have no options but the standard grip. The magazines, you have no options but the standard magazines. The muzzle, you do get the option of a double bayonet for double the stabbing. And for the foregrip, again, no option here. So yeah, you don't get a whole lot of modifications for this particular one, but I mean, come on, it's 2 MP40s welded together. It's just hilarious. And then finally, we have the automatic MP40 Tactical, which, let's take a look at this thing. Standard. Now, in the receivers, we have the same 4 as with the last 2 MP40s. The barrels, we got a couple of different options here. We have a hardened tactical, short hardened tactical, short tactical, and just a regular tactical barrel. All good options. In the grips, we just have the standard grip, so there's no option for the MP41 wooden stock. In the magazines, we have the same either drum magazine or standard. Muzzle, we can choose a suppressor, but only a suppressor. No muzzle hide or a muzzle flash hider there. For the sight zoom, we have that same option of 1 to 2x, but we actually have some actual scopes on this thing. So we have either no sights, the standard iron sights, Or we can actually go with an aim sports scope, which is cool and awesome for sniping. A ghost ring with a red glow to it, a PKA scope with 4x zoom, RDS, which is your standard sort of red dot scope, and then a Tiberium iron sight, which is the same as the ghost ring, except it glows green rather than red. All fun options. Now after that, we then have the other mag well, so we can choose between a single magazine or double magazine again, which is just fun. Oh, I do like that. And then we have the stock options here. So again, we have either none, folded, or the released stock for accuracy purposes, which is the standard on this one. We then have barrel rails, so you can add additional rails to the front of the barrel. So we either have none, or type 1 or type 2, which are just different styling. They don't change anything else but the style of the rail. And once you do have these, let's see if it actually works. And waha, yes, we have options for things. So we have a foregrip that we can add, either just a long foregrip or a stubby foregrip, just for aesthetic purposes. We have a laser, which we can add on, either green or red. We also have a flashlight, which will take the place of your normal Pip-Boy light when you turn it on, which is always handy to have that. A bayonet, which will attach to the rails as well. You don't normally have this option. And yeah, then again with the foregrips, and those are your beautiful options once you have changed or added rather, the rails on there. And besides that, we do also have skins again, where we only have two this time, either the Chrome or the Tactical Mp40, whichever you prefer. And then we can change the style of the rail that is up top from either a Type 1 or Type 2. And finally, we can choose between full auto or semi-auto. And you have just, oh my, all of those different things at your disposal to make some pretty impressive variations. So let's take some shots and have a look at some of the variations I've worked with. So this is the standard Mp40 with iron sights there, you can see, very nice. And a good steady firing rate out of that thing with a good custom animation. Beautiful. Pop in that magazine, and there we go to continue firing. Now the next one, of course, is the tactical that I have here. Excellent. Now that is the standard iron sights right there with this one, and it'll have the same firing rate, but as you can see, it's just an interesting different look to the weapon. Same animation though, right there. Beautiful. And then we have my glorious favorite one of all of them. We have the Experimental Mp40 with 64 rounds standard, and watch this firing rate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. I really like that. It is horribly inaccurate, so it's really a close quarters weapon, but look at that beautiful reload animation. I just love that. You get a few shots off and then reload. You gotta take out both magazines, replace both, and then cock each of the individual MP40s on its own. That is glorious. I really, really do enjoy that. Now, as for some of the ones that I've messed around with, we have this ported automatic Mp40 in Chrome, of course, once it actually comes out. There we go. Which this one, I actually have gone with the dual magazine, so it actually does have two magazines attached to the front, and does a total of 24 rather than the standard 20 damage. And yeah, it's not in the most impressive thing ever, but we'll do a bit more damage, and you have 64 rather than 32 rounds to deal with, and that's just with the double standard mag. I could have gone with the double barrel mag, or drum mag rather, to have 128 rounds. Now the next one we have here is a suppressed automatic Mp40 Tactical. Once it comes out, and there we go. And I have this thing kitted out as best I can with so many things. I've got all the various attachments, so we've got a flashlight, a little stabby bayonet, which doesn't go far enough past the suppressor. We've got the red laser, we've got the red sights back there, and a drum magazine, all beautiful and of course suppressed. So there we go, a beautiful thing. If actually we get close to this bush over here, you can see the red dot on there. Well, kind of. It's a little hard to see during the day, but you know what? It's wonderful. And also, There we go, the flashlight dead ahead and not being my usual green color that I typically have the flashlight. Perfect, and is just a wonderful silenced gun. There we go. And finally, we have the modded version of the Experimental, my bayoneted Mp40 Experimental, which, yes, it's just bayoneted and has hard receivers. That's really all there has been done to this thing. But it's fun, and I just love shooting this thing. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it's gorgeous. And the reload, it's a beautiful animation. And yeah, that is the Mp40 mod. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing, which of course means we do now have to go over here and kill the poor mongrel who we kill every episode, and I'm gonna do it with the Experimental. Oh yes, I probably also should have pointed out with the Experimental, there really is no such thing as iron sights with this one. If we try to do iron sights, it just kind of brings the gun closer to you. It's not really meant for that. I mean, it's really meant as a close quarters replacement for a shotgun, honestly. So let's just charge at him and take this mongrel. Ha! Got him. And where's the rad stag? Hello! Oh, yes, I love this thing. I really, really do. I mean, the tactical is fun. It's cool to have all those nice attachments and suppressors and flashlights and lasers. But, I mean, when you really want to blow something away, you want to do it with two MP40s welded together. It's just wonderful. But yeah, that is the Mp40 mod. If you would like to take a look at it for yourself, which I would definitely suggest that you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as usual. But yeah, that is gonna be it for today's episode, folks. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next when we'll be doing other things with other mods, which hopefully will be just as fun. But until that time, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one.